What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Canes Hoops post-game show. This is Canes Insight. I am Peter Ariz, and Miami wins their first ACC game of the season, first basketball win in 10 games. And I've been waiting to do this one for a while, man. I'm pumped up, really excited. Obviously, it's been a tough year, a tough couple years for Canes Hoops. Coach L stepping down mid-season here, and man, this was a fun one tonight as Miami beats Notre Dame. Shoot, great team to get your first win of the season in the ACC against. So Miami wins 63-57, and yeah, man, it's K Mills 904 says feels like Christmas. Eric Lancaster says, love them Canes, threw money at it before and doubled down at plus 1,000. Miami was down by as many as 13 here in the second half. And I give them credit, man. I've said it a few times here recently. It feels like some games, you know, they don't have the energy, but there's a bunch of these ACC games that they've really come out with some good energy defensively. Whether or not they have the bodies, I think you guys can see that, right, from a physical standpoint, but they are competing. Divine Ugochukwu, as a freshman, really did a good job on both sides of the floor tonight in terms of running the game for Miami. Huge shout out to Matthew Cleveland, 37 minutes, 21 points, 7 rebounds. But Brandon and Matthew Cleveland's been amazing. I've been shouting him out big time. He's, to me, earning himself a draft spot in this upcoming draft, you know, potentially as a second round pick here. But Brandon Johnson, transfer from East Carolina, he has had a really, you know, a rough season in terms of the shooting percentages, and someone who historically is a really good shooter. And like, to me, you don't just become a bad shooter overnight. It's a confidence thing. And he's had, you know, a nice stretch of games here dating back to the West Coast. And he put in 40 minutes tonight. So he plays the entire game for Miami, 40 minutes, 13 points, 8 rebounds. But a guy who his shot was, you know, it was falling tonight, and just nice to see some guys play with some confidence, man, because it's been lacking across the board. Canes Cat C305 says, let's go. They needed me. Yeah, man. Canes Cat C305 saw him in attendance tonight. He had not been there. And I got to say, it was a good crowd for Saturday night, 8 p.m., late start, a team that's 0-10 in ACC play coming into this one. So West Endzone says, I don't even watch basketball. I'm just here to see Pete smile. This has been a rough go, man. And look, I got this. I sleep with this at night to remind me of the good times. You got the Final Four towel, man. This is my, you know, when I lay my head down at night, this is my safe space right here. No, I'm messing around, but I'm gonna get this thing framed and put it up behind me for the basketball shows, which, as always, Ariz Law PA. Remember, I'm gonna pull up the website here. Ariz Law. Yes, this is my dad, everyone. But in terms of planning your future, if you're a parent, if you're a grandparent, you need will, you need, you know, a trust. And it's not something you really like to talk about, but you need to plan your future. And you can do that with Ariz Law. And it's a free consultation. So head to the website, arizlawpa.com. It's a free consultation, and you can schedule it. It can be virtual. It can be in person if you're here in Miami. So go check them out. Again, arizlawpa.com. All of the basketball shows sponsored by Ariz Law. So just taking a look at, as Canes Cat C305 says, moment I walk in the building, we go on a 30 and 12 run. So listen, that was crazy, man. Miami was down by 11 at halftime, end up outscoring Notre Dame 38-21 in the second half and win by 6. And looking at the box score, like I said, Matthew Cleveland, 21 points, and he's been just really a consistent player, and I give him a ton of credit. Just looking at his game log, right? I understand it's been a tough year to follow, and some of us may not be tuning into every game. Last 5 games here, starting tonight, 21 against Notre Dame, 27 against Virginia, 30 against Cal, 23 against Stanford, 31 against SMU, 2 against Duke. Bad, horrible. I mean, the team lost by 45. 22 against Wake, 16 against FSU, 21 against Virginia Tech, 21 against BC. So, got to give him credit, man. Trenton Breeze says we waited for times like this. Yeah, man. I saw your celebration video on Twitter. That was good stuff there. And Jay Cruz says what I said earlier. Always great to beat Notre Dame in any sport. And that's exactly what we saw in Miami's next football game will, of course, be against Notre Dame. Let me take a look at the box score again here to make sure I'm not missing anything that I wanted to note. As, of course, Divine Ugochukwu, like I said, 9 points, 31 minutes, and just watching the game up close, 4 assists, 3 steals. It just does a really good job of initiating offense, getting the ball on the ground and getting to the hoop, getting to the heart of the defense, making things happen, dishing it off. There's not many players on this team who can beat defenders off the dribble. He's one of them. He's quick. He's tough. As he continues to develop, gets stronger, gonna be an even better defender. As that shot continues to develop, it's gonna be a really big part of his, adding to his offensive game. So to me, the arrow's pointing up big time with him. Hopefully he's a guy that the new coach keeps. And just to me, again, a note, just hearing what I'm hearing. I really think that there are certain people who are pushing to get a hire made sooner rather than later. So we'll see what happens. I don't think that they're going to wait for other schools, because there's other programs already that we know are going to need coaches. UNC looks like it's trending in that direction. UVA going to need a new coach. It's not looking very good at Notre Dame either for Coach Shrewsbury. I think he has another year, because this is year 3 for him. So I doubt they're gonna do it, or year 2. So I doubt they'll do it right now. But yeah, man, we'll see. Chris Quinn, that's an intriguing name. Canes Catsy 305 says Divine can do one thing really, really good, and that's get to the rack. Dude, and there's no one else on the team who can do that, really. Matt Cleveland can do it to a certain extent. Cleveland's been an amazing shooter, jump shooter out. He has the ability to get to the hoop. I'm not saying he doesn't, but in transition, he's bamming it on people. But as a shooter, he's been awesome. Divine he's quick, man. He's really, really quick. And for a guy who's he doesn't really have a consistent jump shot right now. It's not a threat to his game. So defensively, like, you would think that guys would just take a couple steps back and defend his first step, but they're doing a good job, man. Let's see here. Canes Cat C305 says Pete stormed the court after the game. Not quite, man, but I was pretty excited. Alec Baldor, big Alec, says Peter touching wood, getting dubs, man. First time doing that, man. That was nice. But like I said, it had been a 10-game losing streak. So let's see. Juan Manuel says, Pete, not really a basketball fan, fan of your passion. Question, why not McClinton for head coach? His name's in the rafters. Look, I said it the other day. I think Jack should 100% be on staff, someone who's around. He calls the games, the non-conference games for ESPN+. So it did it at a very high level. I think, look, head coach, I think Jack will tell you himself that head coach might be a little generous at this stage, but he's someone who should be very much involved in the program. I think he should have a role. We talk about a lot of you guys. I appreciate you on. We have 300 on live. I understand that you're more football fans, but just to use football terms here, there are recruiting personnel that are very important. There are assistant coaches, position coaches, and we know how important those people are to the staff and to making certain things happen. I think Jack, as I said the other day, should be involved one way or another, whoever the head coach is, because you need a connecting bridge. We don't have a very rich history. Like in terms of basketball, we've done some cool things, right? Especially recently. There's some guys in the league who are having success, but like let's not act like we are something that we're not. Let's honor and keep that bridge and the network to the ones who have actually done things at the highest level. Like, I don't know. There's certain things that I think they need to do better. The other day, they made a post about how Matthew Cleveland was the first Miami player since 2009 to have 2 30-point games in a season. And they didn't say they said since 2009, but they didn't say since Jack McClinton. Let's create a little bit of that history. We need to do more of that. I'm sorry. Like, that's just, to me, as someone who follows a basketball program closely, and I know it's not the cash cow. I get it. But like, we can still be a very respectable year in, year out program in basketball, competitive, and create a nice atmosphere in that arena. To me, it's something that you need to do. Yeah, we want Jack, man. Let's see, man. So Yalaha says, so who should they really keep with the NIL money? I mean, look, there's only a handful of guys who have eligibility remaining, right? You have Jaleel Bethia. We'll see what sort of decision he makes. He's not in a good spot in terms of his draft prospects right now, but let's see if it's a big time coach who comes in, because Bethia needs to come back and develop. I would say as a college player, it's been a rough year of Miami. So can he swallow that and say, look, I trust who the new guy is, and I'm going to come back here and do it another year? I think that they'd be down to continue their investment in him in terms of NIL, if that's the case, if he wants to come back. Like, you don't just give up on a talent like that if he's willing to give it another go and if the new coach wants him. I think Divine Ugochukwu is someone who should be, definitely around if he wants to be here. Austin Swartz is a potential building block. Outside of that, that's, to me, I think that there's going to be the new coach who comes in is going to bring in a lot of new players. So that's the way I look at it. Canes Cat C305 says the atmosphere today's one. It was for sure more packed than any of their games. It was a good atmosphere, man. It really was. I was very excited about that on a Saturday night, 8:00. So yeah, man, it was good, and the players feed off that energy. Look, I can't sit here and give you guys some fake energy and say we need you guys at the Watsco for the next game. Like, this team needs you behind them. They're 1-10 in the ACC. Like, I'm not a dumb, and we understand that it's not going to get you guys out there, this one win. But I was talking to someone earlier today, and it's like, that's what's tough about these last 2 years is like, you see sparks of that there is support for this program, but you have 2 years where you've been one of the worst teams in the ACC. You lose a lot of that casual fan support. So you need to slowly build it up. I think year one of the new coach, there's just going to be a natural energy, and there's going to be an excitement about it that no matter what happens, people will be intrigued by it. But to me, it's you got to continue to build on the fan base that Coach L has built here. And look, you can't say that because it doesn't look like they're probably going to hire someone within the Coach L tree. So it's not like you can say, wow, L left like a real protege behind him that can follow in his footsteps and do, instill a lot of the stuff that he did. It's not like that, but you can say that what Coach L did was he built the baseline and the foundation for what this program can be at its best. And I think if you get the right guy in here, you can bring someone in who can be here for a long time and, do what L did, but in a different style. So I'm excited, man. Yalaha Kane, Frank, asking about Frank Barton. Listen, South Carolina did great things there. Obviously, Kansas State years ago, that was a fun program to watch at a certain point. He's at UMass now. I know UMass. It's tough there with the NIL. Let me see. They're 10-12 this year. I at a certain point would have been very excited about a Frank Martin. I don't know that now's the time that I would be. I want someone who's won in the last couple years, man, or someone who's very much on the way up, like someone who, if you're not a head coach right now, you are considered like the top assistant coach in the country, or someone in the NBA. Like I had mentioned a Chris Quinn, who has an extensive history having been here in Miami. Obviously played at Notre Dame, but someone who's been in the city of Miami would probably be a guy who stays here, runs his own program here. NBA coaches, it's tough, man. These NBA coaches, to me, you get spit out. You go there for a couple years, 2-3 years, and like if you don't have a freak, if you don't have a Wembanyama or a LeBron, like and by the way, if you have one of those guys, if you have a LeBron, like and we know LeBron, I'm a LeBron guy, but like it's even more pressure on you. But these NBA coaches are not really given. There's only a few organizations that give you time to like build a culture and a program. I'm a Heat hater at times. I can't sit here and tell you I'm not. But I think that discipline style could work potentially more in the college level than what we see with some of the stuff dealing with some of these NBA superstars. So. But yeah, everyone, I appreciate you guys watching. Yalaha Kane says it's not the cash cow. Remember, it's not. But there are very important people within the power structure of the school that make decisions that care very much about basketball. So that should give you an idea of they're not going to go cheap here. If it's someone that hasn't been a head coach yet, it's going to be someone who has been sought out by other programs or organizations to be a head coach, and he's stayed put. So we'll see, man. I'm excited. It's going to be a new era for Canes hoops, and tonight was fun to get a win, get some of that good mojo going. Matthew Cleveland, once again, player of the game for Miami. Thank you guys for joining me again at Aries Law PA, as always, sponsoring these basketball shows. Biggest Op says Devanu Uchukwu's legit big time, man. He just moves different out there. Again, the way he attacks the hoop, that first step of his, it's different. Quick hands as he continues to put some good weight on, develop that shot. Going to be a big time player. I really hope we can hold on to him moving forward. So appreciate everyone who was on with me tonight. Go Canes. See you guys Monday for Canes Insight Daily, as D Money and I will bring you guys the latest on Canes football, Canes baseball, Canes hoops, and everything else in between. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Go Canes.